Hi, boys and girls. So this is part 2 of informational using text evidence to draw a conclusion in informational text. This is your assignment for today, the Mona Lisa mystery. It's in your Rouse Kids assignments. So what I'm going to show you for this second part of the video, the mini lesson, is how to take notes in the text, going back in the text to look for your answer. So it says, what happened to the Mona Lisa in 1911? It was bought, it was stolen, it was moved to a new museum, or it was painted over with a new picture. So one thing I want to point out is even though you might know what happened from when you read it the first time, please, please, please always go back in the text and look for your answer. Look for the evidence. So I'm going to click on the book and I'm going to go back and I'm going to flip through the book until I see. Now I've already forgotten the question, so I'm going to go back to the quiz, read it again. What happened to the Mona Lisa in 1911? So I'm looking for the key words, 1911 and happening, something along those lines. Okay, so between the years 1503 and 1506, Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci worked on a painting. So I'm going to go until I find a heading, excuse me, that talks about what happened to the painting in 1911. Oh, here we go. On August 22nd, 1911, an artist named Louis came to the Louvre Museum to study and copy the Mona Lisa, as artists and students were allowed to do. It was a Tuesday, which is important because on Monday the museum was closed. Okay. Louis entered the room where the Mona Lisa had always hung, but the painting wasn't there. Had someone moved it? He waited for a while. Then he asked a guard to please go and ask about it. When the guard came back, he had very bad news. The Mona Lisa was missing. So again, those key phrases like the 1911, the date is right there. So I'm going to highlight that. An artist named Louis came to the museum to study and copy the Mona Lisa. So I know that's important. That he came to the museum to study Mona Lisa. And the museum had been closed on Monday, and then when he entered the room, the painting wasn't there. So I'm going to highlight that part so you can do that. Mona Lisa was missing. So the police were called and they searched every room, and soon they had clue number 1. The Mona Lisa's wooden frame was found near the stairs. So I'm going to go back to the quiz, and you just click back to the quiz, and I'm going to look at the options again. It was bought, it was stolen, it was moved to a new museum, it was painted over with a new picture. So I still don't really know if it was stolen or if it was moved to a museum for sure. So I'm going to go back to the text. I'm going to keep reading. Now it goes all the way back to the beginning. So you just got to flip back to where you were. So it was closed. Nobody knew where it was. When the guard came back, he had very bad news. The Mona Lisa was missing. The police were called. They searched every room. Soon they had clue number 1, the Mona Lisa's wooden frame. Police questioned every person who worked at the museum, and they felt sure that the theft had occurred on Monday when the museum was closed. They guessed that the thief had been a museum laborer, or had he just dressed as one, so no one would notice him. They thought that when the guard was away, the thief simply had taken the painting off the wall. He carried it to the stairs, and then he took off the painting's heavy frame. The Mona Lisa is painted on a piece of wood, so it couldn't be rolled up. He had put the painting under his work shirt and gone down the stairs. The door was locked. He knew he had to take off the lock, so he did. And then he walked outside. So these are the things that the police think. Museum closed for a week. The police talked with everyone they could think of. They closed all the border crossings in and out of France, fingerprints, blah, blah, blah. People came to stare at the empty space where the Mona Lisa. So obviously at this point, I would hope you know the answer. It was not bought. It was definitely stolen. So I'm going to click that and hit next, and we're going to move on. Who do people think posed for the Mona Lisa painting? So again, we're going to go back in the text, and we're going to look for the phrases like who posed for the Mona Lisa. So does that mean that it's always going to be past the information that we just looked up? No, it does not. So sometimes questions come from different parts of the text. So it's super important to go back and read from the beginning again and look for where it talks about like who it was painted of. So I'm going to look at the question again. Notice how many times I'm looking at the question over and over, going back to the text, and I'm only on question number 2. So please take your time on this stuff, guys. Take your time on what you're doing. Go back in the text every time and look for that evidence.